Hey Tootsie friends, welcome if you are new and welcome back if you're returning. I'm Nikki, your favorite little sister, and we have reached day 5 of Nikkimas. We're doing it big around here. Wrapping up the first quarter, being as though that's kind of how my life is right now, I thought it'd be great to do my 5 favorite reads from quarter 1. I was determined to make it new reads. So, and again, I read a lot of rereads this first 3 months, so I apologize that they are a lot of the same author, but I can't help what I read, okay? So, first thing was One Final Shot by Bobby Penn. Y'all already know how much I love this story. It gave me everything I did not know I needed, okay? It broke me down. It made me just want to roll into a ball and cry, but then it put it back together again. And it was amazing. It was realistic. It was honest. It was just what happens when you are young, Black excellence, and you got the world at your feet. Stuff is bound to happen, you know? People are bound to hate, want to tear down your foundation. But when it's strong, it comes full circle. Like, the love was real. There was so much love and like honesty, also other stuff, a little mess in this book. And I loved it. I was so stressed out, but I could not put it down. As you guys remember, Serena and I did like a reading vlog of reading this in a day. It is Bobby Penn's first debut traditionally published book. I cannot wait to get the physical copy. I am still on the hunt for it. But I'm obsessed. It was everything I didn't know I needed. Again, the storytelling is always top tier, but something about this story, even though it was like I seen the train wreck coming, I could not look away. I could not stop. And then I just had to feed into it until it got to the overall conclusion of happiness, okay? Because it is a romance, so I need that happy ever after in the end. And it wasn't just like romantic love, it was familial love, there was friendships, like just true bonds. And what happens when you and your person are not on the same level, or the same level, when you and your person are not on the same chord, when you guys are not aligning, and how it is so important and essential to have that. I love that it wasn't the usual miscommunication trope, but it gave like that feeling without it being like angsty and bothersome. It was just a phenomenal read. So my first shout out goes to One Final Shot, Bobby Penn. My second one is also by Miss Bobby Penn, Homecoming Season 2. This book came out beginning of the year, and it lives in my heart forever and always, okay? Navy was that dude. He gave the star athlete, he gave super dad, he just gave, okay? He had his eye on the prize. He knew what he wanted, and he had no issues doing what he needed to do to protect his queen. And that's the energy I like, okay? Oh, you looked me wrong? You're dead. I mean, I'm not gonna give stuff away like that, but that's the energy that I want my man to have for me, and Navy had it. Jelani was just an overall amazing woman. Like, there was nothing not to love about her. She was family oriented, she was goal oriented, she was loving, she was kind, she was intelligent. Like, she was that girl, and she deserved, I loved her so much that I'm not even trying to take her man, okay? Even though I love me some Navy, I'm not trying to take her man. She was just, we don't get enough female characters like her. Like, there was nothing not to love. It's not easy being the daughter of a living legend, and she held that title and that crown with such grace and such poise and love, and just, she was a true queen. And it's funny because Homecoming Season 1, or Book 1, is one of Sarita's favorite books of all times, especially by Bobby Penn. So this book had a lot to live up to, and it surpassed, it exceeded. This is another book that I read in a day. Like, I was obsessed. I actually read it 2 times before we actually talked to Pen about it. Like, that's how much of a chokehold it had me in. It just gave me all the vibes. And there's something about writing characters that are just so easy to love. And Aubrey Penn never fails to give me a character that I'm going to love. And it's not easy to make me love a female character. I'm all for girl power, but sometimes them girls be dumb. And I don't got time for it. Jelani wasn't that. I loved it. I actually hope some of her friends and his friends get their own books, because I need more of this. Because sometimes the guys be annoying too, but I don't know what it is, why the female character always tends to like just give. Yes, the cup of the season is here, y'all. Even one, you did your big thing with this one. But sometimes the female characters just give like irritating to me. And something I love about Aubrey Penn is that's not the case. Sometimes they get on my nerves a little bit, but usually I'm all in for her characters. Am I the only one? I try not to judge the women too harshly, but sometimes you're just doing stupid stuff just to do. Especially because I like, sorry, I'm jumping around, but I really like when the male character is ignorant and just killing people because he's upset this day. I know that's wrong on my part. I know that's a little weird, but it's how I feel. So when they're like, oh my gosh, I have to run away, you just killed someone. I'm like, girl, that's the ultimate love story. I got issues. We talked about it. Excuse me. Book 3. After the end all. How could I not talk about this book? If we did not do this for the book of month in January, I would have read this in a day. I could not put it down. Ace and Lourdes, they got my heart, okay? They have me forever and always, okay? I'm kind of new to Rayleigh. I know her, obviously. We're pretty good friends, actually. But I know her. I've read some of her books. But this was just like my second full read of her. So I would say still new, and she never disappoints. This story right here, I see why all the girlies were going crazy. I see why they were flooding the streets to talk about it. This deserves all the accolades and more, okay? Rayleigh did her big thing with this one. Her big thing, okay? Ace is giving that boy that you just want to hold and love on, okay? He's only 22, and I don't normally like young adult like romances, because I just feel like, oh my goodness, they're gonna be so annoying. And teenagers, baby, these poor teenagers, these poor babies, they had the world on their shoulders. And the way they carried it was so phenomenal. The way they connected was just next level. Planet Ace was just, that's it. Like, the love story between these two was so organic and so real, and it's just like young love at its finest. Like, this story, like this right here, I can't even form the words. Ace was so the perfect broken hero, and Lourdes was the perfect young girl on the cups of greatness. Like, just, I'm trying not to say too much, you guys, but this one right here, Wesley and Jacoby narrated it, and it's like, when you have the perfect narrators for the perfect story, it just ups the ante times a million, okay? Asen was, that's Ace. Asen is his full name. I know I'm like that. But Asen was just such a tortured soul. And it was tragic, but so realistic to watch him fall apart. And according to Sarita, this is a new hero for her, because he actually is not in the struggle on progressing. He's there. But life has happened. Things happen, and he has to face the world with people thinking they know him and know his story, and they know nothing. Now, Lourdes is just kind of the head of her household right now, and it's a position she should not have to be in, but she loves the people in her life, and she's gonna hold that title and get what needs to be done. And she's a sweet young girl, and I just love this story. If you have not read any of these recommendations, get your life, get on it, because you will not be disappointed. This one was phenomenal, but I definitely feel like the audio is the way to go. If you're trying to pick between, nothing beats a physical copy or a book, but the audio was phenomenal. They truly brought these characters to life. Like, At the End of It All by Rayleigh. We now have another one by Miss Rayleigh. The Endgame. Sunflower Series Book 2. Okay, so I had read Dominic's story last year, and I was reading it with a friend, Sarita, and then like we kind of fell off, so I never finished this story. I had just read like the first chapter or something. After reading At the End of It All, I was like, okay, I don't like not knowing. Because it's a different series, I had assumed that I could just read it and I wouldn't have to. Baby, you don't have to read this series to read At the End of It All, but characters are mentioned, and when that happens, if that character has a story, I want to read it. I want all the information. I want to read it the way the author wrote it, so that I know everything I need to know up to this point. Again, I loved and enjoyed that story without having read this one. But JoJo,
girl, that's the man right there. That is the man.
Listen, this little boy right here could get it, okay? And I know we try not to do that with young boys, but this one right here, whoo-wee. Okay, JoJo, he was such a far more dynamic This is book 2. You have to read book 1 of the Sunflower series, Saving Sunflower, first. But I read that one last year, and again, I'm not doing rereads for my top 5. But this one right here, he was such a far more eclectic and complex character than I even thought. Like, the way Rayleigh unrolled this story was phenomenal, because you feel like you already know JoJo, you already love him, like that's Dominic's little cousin, like his little brother, like his little baby son, you know. You felt like you knew him, but then you get in this story and it's like, I'm like, why is it so thick? You had no idea.
That story was pure perfection.
Josiah just,
y'all know what I don't understand, YouTube. I don't know why. I tell her to read stories all the time and she never will. I have to go at it with her, beg her, fight with her. She could have been on Josiah, but she refused to listen to her big sister. Here we are again.
Josiah is going to school on a football scholarship, and there he meets the love of his life. And what was so amazing about this is she is a young mother. Jade had the struggles of a young mother, like wanting to be young and enjoy her life and still do things, but still having the knowledge and the know-how that I'm a mother now. My life is no longer my own. And what I loved about Jade was she wasn't upset about it. She owned it. She loved that baby more than anything in this world, okay? And it was beautiful to see. But it was also fun to just be like in her head and feeling like because she's a mother now, she can't make mistakes. She can't live. Josiah pulled that out. He was like, you gotta live, you're my Jade. You guys, this thing right here. I read this one in like it was like 2.5 days. And that's because I had other stuff I had to read for SIP. Where they do that at, okay? Josiah was that man. He saw something he wanted, he went for it, he took care of her, he took care of his baby girl. Like, he gave all the energy I want my man to give, okay? This, is an alpha male. And what's so great is Josiah was surrounded, like his core people, they were all alpha males. And Rayleigh wrote it in a way where it's not like anyone was out trying to outshine anyone else. Like, there was nothing but pure love between these men. Like, he's there on a full scholarship because he is that dude in the football game. But he came from humble beginnings. He knows what it is to struggle, what it is to have to hustle to get what it is, and then what you need so that you can have food to eat, so that you can have this cleats you need to play. Do football players wear cleats? Or is that soccer? They don't know. But he knew the struggle, and it was a phenomenal, realistic experience. Sarita likes to say that Rayleigh writes sophisticated urban, and someone said that she writes, I don't remember your name, I'm going to find your name in the comments and post you, but she says she writes a Black experience, and that's what this story is. It's the Black experience at its finest, at its most tragic, at its most real. Like this right here, it gave nothing. It owes me nothing, okay? I cannot wait to start book 3. Oh, Endgame, it just... And Rayleigh has this way about writing lights that... And for you who don't know, lights are the erotic scenes. But she has a way of writing lights that is so poetic. Like, her writing style is already, like, just top tier. But it's like always that first time together, it's never cut and dry. Like, it is an emotional, spiritual moment and between the two characters, and you are in it with them. It is, she don't play. Her pen game, never doubt it. Never doubt it. If you see Rayleigh, insta buy it. Don't waste your time checking with me. Just buy it. Just read it. You're going to enjoy it. That's Endgame. And my last one. I'm going to get a lot of hell from Sarita for this one, y'all. It's Kindred. I didn't think I was going to like this story so much, you guys. I did not want to like this story so much. Oh, it wasn't against the story. It was just not letting Sarita be right. But this one right here, y'all, it was like everything that I do not want to read right now, but it still gave me everything I wanted, okay? I was about halfway through.
Girl, you don't do nothing but listen to your big sister. Are these all your favorite reads? Are these
my favorite reads of the first quarter? Yes.
So how many of those were 2 that your big sister told you to read?
It was 3 of them.
3 of them? Tell me which 3, sister.
At the end of it all, Endgame and Kindred by Robbie Renee.
You better go on, bitch. Them was all some fantastic reads.
I can't stand her.
Toot toot on horn.
Toot toot. You deserve the toots. Toot toot. But this one was so tragic. Like, content warnings. Go in prepared to cry, to be devastated, to go through the mud. But I promise you, when you make it to the end, the story is so worth it. Kindred is exactly the reason why I don't DNF books. Because halfway through, I was like, I'm done, sweetie. I don't like her. Even though I do like her, I'm hurt with Kindred. I'm hurt with Xander right now. Like, I'm not feeling this. I had to keep going. And I left a lot of angry messages until they stopped, because I was enraptured. Even when I didn't want to read, I didn't want to stop. Robbie Renee weaved a web of like realness. This was real life at its most tragic, at its most bare, humans at their most grotesque, but also at how loving and how we can overcome, especially as Black people. We can overcome anything. This right here, this is a story of overcoming. This is a story of love and acceptance. Like, it was a brilliant piece of literature, okay? This one broke me down, but it put me back together in a way that I didn't know I needed. It truly knocked it out of the park. I was completely surprised. Xander. Like, yeah. He could get it, okay? He could have all of it, okay? I loved him. I love the Kindred family. I cannot wait to read the next book. If you have not checked out our Instagram, you should definitely do that, because that's where we talk to Miss Robbie Renee about this very book. And we got a lot of insight in for this story, what's coming for this series, and even more things. You heard it there first. You gotta go on Instagram. I will link our Instagram below for you to check it out. Just read, y'all. All these stories were Black romances written by Black authors, and they were so good. Like, I can't wait to do this again in 3 months and to see what else I'm reading. Who else made it to the top 5 of Nikki's list? Because, you know, it's not easy to pick books when you love all of them. That's why I was like, okay, I can't do books I already read. It gotta be new reads. And these right here, they understood the assignment. They did what they needed to do. It's time for my gift. That's why you my girl. That's why you are my #1 girl.
I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
You have been doing so good.
Thank
5 days.
I know. Thank you.
I am so proud of
Thank
you.
you. Y'all, sorry. Thank you. I love gummy bears. This is my favorite thing. Thank you, sister. Y'all don't, and you, this right here, this is my jam. Thank you, sister.
I am very proud of you.
I'm very proud of me too. This right here, that just made my night. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, ring a ding ding. Until next time. Bye guys.